Just chose to join us. She's in the windowsill right now. But anyhow, Miss Miranda, when I connect in with you, what's going to happen is that I'm going to get some feelings, sensations, images, all of which is everything that I share over to you. Your can't. Oh, I saw that you just muted your mic. Are you there?
Okay, okay, it's fine.
Anyhow. So when I connect in with you, all I need for you to do is just respond, letting me know that you either understand the information or not. It is best that when you do respond, you keep your answers short and sweet, just because if you start to add a bunch of details or share a bunch of information in with your answers, it's going to be distracting for me, is what I'm going to say. And it will also cause for me to see what it is that you're saying versus what spirit wants to say. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Understood. Is there anyone specifically that you're hoping to get in touch with, or you're fine with me just bringing through whoever comes forward?
Whoever comes forward is fine.
Understood. And the second person that's in that photo, is that one of the people that you're hoping to get in touch with?
Yes.
Understood. Just because when that photo came up, I was like getting pulled over to it. And I believe you're the blonde, is that correct?
No, actually I'm on the dark.
Understood. And mom is still here, or mom is in spirit?
She's in spirit.
Understood. And is that mom in the photo?
Yes.
Got it. Thank you. Just because the fact that before the session even began, I was feeling very much, did I hit record? I did. Good. I was feeling very much like I was going to be pulling through for a mother who was going to come through. And then this photo is popping up at me and I'm like, okay, I believe that this is coming together right now is what's going on. And as I get in touch, or as I feel into mom's energy, I don't feel like she comes alone. I feel like there would be a grandfather, possibly even her father, that I need to recognize to be with her. You'd understand?
Yes.
Understood. I don't know what is going on with my phone and these notifications. This is all day long. And I can't stand that. Let me put it on vibrate. All right. Anyhow, so when I connect in with mom, I know that I want to recognize that there be a father for her in spirit. Your grandfather is what I'm understanding too. And I know that when he comes forward, I feel very much as though that I want to make him more country-like in his demeanor. Now, that's not to say he speaks with a southern accent, but I definitely feel like this is someone who lived in a more rural-like area is what's going on. And I know that when I connect in with mom, I feel very much as though that I need to recognize her passing being very illness related. I almost question whether or not this has like a cancer connection. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And I know that as I waited for you to respond, I just heard what felt like this cough. So I know I need to bring this into her chest, is what I'm understanding. You understand?
Yes.
Understood. And I know that when I also recognize her, she makes me feel like I want to talk about her more vibrant. There's just this high social kind of quality about her that comes up. Like I even feel like she is someone who in later on in her illness, she's still remaining social. She's still doing her best to like hold a conversation and talk with you, is what I'm saying. You understand?
Yes.
Understood. That isn't to say that she loses ability to communicate. That's just to say that when this feels like I want to recognize that there's a slower digression of her health is what I'm understanding. This doesn't feel like someone who goes out overnight is what I'm understanding. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And when I talk about her and communicating with you and all of that, I feel like I get this seat that pulls up and you show up beside her is what's going on too. Now, interestingly, when I talk about you showing up to her, there does feel like I need to recognize a distance between the two. I almost question whether or not you would have lived further away from her. Do you understand that?
No.
Understood. Would you understand me to say that I feel like I need to recognize that in the end that she is at like a hospital?
Yes.
Understood. And I do know that when she gives me this feeling about you like pulling up, there's a like a purse or a bag with you. I don't feel that to be into. Oh yeah, okay. I know that I want to recognize that there's a sadness. There is a heavier emotion that starts to come through. And I almost feel like there's a sense of sadness on your behalf for like not having been there enough or feeling as if like you weren't there enough. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. But when I recognize, because I asked her what this bag in your hand is, I feel like you brought her things, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And I know that when I am in this moment with her and you, I don't feel that she's able to communicate, is what I'm understanding. But I also feel like I need to recognize that while you were there then, I don't feel like you're there for the last breath. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And honestly, I feel like you had just left. Like, I feel like you were just there and then she passes. Do you understand that?
No.
Understood. I know that she's giving it to me in a way to say, like, you, like, either you had just spoken to her or you just were there. Like, I need to recognize how you were just there. And I almost feel like it was set up, not set up like against you, but almost set up for you. Like we have the time that we have, and then she passes, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand that? I'm getting like
Yes.
so red around my neck.
Yes.
Understood. Understood. And as I say that, she starts to extend over this hand to me, is what's going on. And is it important for me to recognize that there would be a ring of importance for you and her?
No.
I definitely do feel like I need to recognize a ring of importance, but she also talks about how she had like many pieces of jewelry, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand that?
Yes.
She doesn't seem like the type to wear a lot of jewelry, though. Gotta be real with you. So I don't know if she just had like a small little collection of jewelry or what the deal is, but I do feel like I want to recognize like her having many pieces. And I believe that this is something that the family would have, is what I'm understanding too. I also know that when I recognize her, I keep getting this pull over to this father, is what's going on as well. Is your father also in spirit?
No.
Understood. I know that when I recognize the grandfather, there feels like there is like this very fatherly energy, even for you, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Maybe.
Like he would have been similar to a father for you, is what I'm saying. And also, Miranda, while I'm saying that, there is this reference to, I don't want to make this guy a monster, but there's a reference to this guy in a way like I want to recognize him not to be a great man, like not to be the like a nice man. Do you understand that?
Oh. No.
Okay, understood. I definitely feel like I'm saying that is what's going on too. Would mom and her father have been close?
Yes.
Understood. And mom's mom is also in spirit. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And I know that there's importance around what to me feels like either a knitted or crocheted, like I believe blanket, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And would this connect more with the grandmother than mom?
Yes.
Understood. I gotta tell you, I even feel like she would have had like and like she had known the ability to even make these, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
For my grandma, yes.
Yes, understood, understood. Um, there's a mention around smoking with the grandmother too. Do you understand? No.
No.
Yeah, as I say that, I don't feel like it's her. Do you understand the importance of me recognizing the smoking? I don't need to know who, but you would understand me to recognize smoking.
Yes.
Understood. Just because that is coming up as I talk with the grandmother is what's going on too. And there's importance around recognizing what feels like a yellow bird, possibly canary, something of that nature, is what's going up. Do you understand that?
Maybe.
Would there have been someone who worked in like coal mines?
No.
Just because when I say canary, I there is I believe back in the old days, they used to like send canaries into mines, and like that was like the test to see if there was too much carbon monoxide.
Hmm.
Do you understand?
No.
There's also another energy that's in the room with you, and I just need them to step away. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Because now I'm starting to question what the real reason is for the not having a camera on. And that's just pulling me out of the energy of spirit, is what I'm saying. Are you comfortable to do this alone, or do we need like a buddy system? Like,
Oh, you meant that if I had somebody here?
yes.
Oh no, I don't. I just have my 2 cats.
Oh, understood. Because it sounded like there was like some other person that was responding to, not to me, but like, and they were having their own response to the information that was coming through. But going
No.
back to the canary situation, I gotta tell you, I mean, it is possible that you understand the yellow bird and its connection. But when I am getting this yellow bird, my mind is immediately starting to relate this over to like a carbon monoxide or something like that is what's going on. Would you understand that?
No.
I feel like I need to say that somebody either has like passes of carbon monoxide, or there would be like,
Oh, yes, somebody related to yeah, my mom, yes.
understood. Just because of the fact that when this bird, honey, I get birds all the time, and I don't start relating it to the canary in a coal mine type thing. And the moment I start talking about the coal mine thing and saying, starting to realize what that be about, it's that carbon monoxide that's standing out the most to me is what's going on. And it's interesting that you say that your dad is still here, which I do believe that, because when I asked you the question, there was this feeling like no, dad was still here. But there's a second time where I'm getting a recognition around a father that I need to acknowledge. I don't know if there would be like a father-in-law, a stepfather, something like that, but I know that I want to recognize someone outside of mom's dad.
That's past.
Yes.
No, but I could see how you would see it that way, but no.
Okay, understood. I know that when I am saying this, there's this importance of recognizing this gentleman who passes younger, is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying he wasn't a grandfather, but I'm just saying he doesn't give me like that old age grandfather kind of feel, is what's going on. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And as I say that, they're going on about the tattoo. The tattoo is what's being said to me. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. I believe I want to relate the tattoo back over to mom, is what I'm understanding. But that seems off to me. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And as I start to talk about this tattoo, I start to get this whole other image of, I see you bedside to this female, which I do believe to be mom, is what's going on. And I'm seeing like this extending of a hand is what's going on, like as if I'm supposed to recognize, like holding mom's hand is what's going on. And I know that I'm recognizing, as I recognize it, there's this sense of like losing one's abilities, like losing one's ability to function. All of that is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And all of a sudden, I feel as if like I'm wiping a tear from my face, is what's going on as well. Though I feel like that is done for mom, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And you would understand if I recognize that there is struggle around breathing for mom.
Yes.
So much so that I feel like she needs assistance with this, is what I'm understanding as well. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And she tells me that she knew she was going to pass away, is what I'm understanding. And I gotta tell you, I almost feel like it's opposite. And here's how I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it a little slow, and hopefully I can feel if it drops or if I'm saying something incorrect. Is it right to say that when mom first gets diagnosed or when mom first starts experiencing her health issues, that there's a sense of like, we're going to beat it. We're going to get out of this one, is what I'm saying. And that, no, there's an off feeling. Does mom get diagnosed in the past and then like there's a returning diagnosis?
There was a time frame where we thought she had the diagnosis, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah.
Okay, because I know that there's this feeling of like there being this period of feeling like things are going to be fine, and then there is this recognition that we're not, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Understood. And I also know that she seems to be going on strongly right now about the holidays. The holidays is what's going on, but more so I feel like I'm talking about like the later month holidays, like or the later year holidays, like Christmas time, like that is what's going on. She makes me feel like I want to talk about like this being like the last holiday for her, is what's going on. Do you understand that? Is it right to say that she doesn't make it to Christmas that year?
Yes.
Understood. And my thing is that I feel like I want to recognize like how sentimental the holidays would have been, specifically with mom, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
And I know that she's also talking, she's like, the chair is what's taken place too. And I feel like when I'm seeing her in this chair, she seems to be pretty awake, alert to some capacity, is what's going on. But makes me feel like she's not able to get out of the chair, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand?
Yes.
She says this was the first greatest sign, is what's going on, like to her health and her failing health. And I see her like trying to push herself up, is what's going on. But I feel like I need to recognize there's a need for me to acknowledge the importance of how her and her inability to get up out of the chair is the first sign that that her health is failing, is what's going on. Do you understand?
Yes.
Is it right to say that mom would have been like a very active person? Like physically active, like running around the house, cleaning up the house, taking care of things, like that type stuff, is what I'm saying.
No.
Okay, understood. Because I almost feel like to say, like, since she's having such a struggle to get out of the chair, that this must be a change for her, is what I'm saying.
In a sense, yes.
Understood. And she's also bringing me to her mouth. But making me feel as if like I want to recognize, does she have to get assistance to eat?
Yes.
Understood. Because I feel like I need to recognize there's like almost like this kind of like mumbling feeling in my mouth as I'm saying this. And I know that she's doing that to have me recognize the struggle around her being able to communicate and I believe eat as well, as what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
And she says that she was out of her mind. And this makes me feel like I need to talk about the fact that she loses. It's so interesting how she's delivering this. I feel like I want to recognize that there's like this loss of motor skills, loss of cognition, like loss of that is what's going on. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And I know that she makes me feel that there is a strong part of you being there in a way of caring for her, is what I'm understanding. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Understood. And then all of a sudden I get brought into this, what feels like a I'm going to say funeral room, but I don't believe I'm talking about an actual funeral for mom. I feel like I'm talking about something that would be more like memorial, like something they do more for cremation, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that? She is
no.
married.
Yes, but not like everyone else.
Understood. But would you understand that I need to recognize she's like going on about the music of the service is what's going on, but like leaves me to feel like this very soft. And are you part of who organizes her service?
Yes.
Understood, because I feel like I want to send appreciation or a thank you, like gratitude is what's going on. And as I say that, she speaks about like whether or not she would be proud of you, almost in a way that you would question it, is what I'm saying. And I feel like I need to validate that she would be proud of you, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
And I know that she talks about like I almost like see you in a more crying like way is what's going on, and she talks about the closeness of you and her is what I'm understanding as well. Do you understand?
Yes.
Was mom in some sort of like I didn't see a wheelchair earlier, but she's making me feel like I need to recognize her to be like moved around is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
While she was ill.
Yeah, I
yeah.
believe so. I believe so. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Yes.
Understood, understood. Because I know that when she talks about the sense of being proud of you and your closeness to her, I feel like I need to recognize that there's just not much in the way of her able to be there for others. It's like I need to recognize that others had to be there for her, is what I'm understanding. You understand?
Yes.
Understood. And I know that there was a moment where I felt like I was in a hospital, but right now I feel like I'm in like a room of a home, is what's going on. And I feel like I'm observing her in bed, is what's taking place. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And there's this talk about like a family home, is what's coming to my awareness. Do you understand?
Yes.
I almost feel like this home would have like went from one person to another, is what I'm understanding. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Is this like her parents' home or I should have drank more coffee. That's the feeling that I have when I'm watching and observing her, is this acknowledgement to a home that feels like it's a family home.
Yes.
Understood. She's going back over her head again, is what's taken place. Is it right to say that mom has like either like an Alzheimer's or dementia?
Yes.
Understood. And I think I'm going more in the way of like Alzheimer's, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand?
No, it was more dementia.
Oh, understood, understood. I know when she's saying that though, she's making me feel like or that she's not able to recognize you, or she forgets who you are. Would you understand that?
Sometimes it happens.
Understood, because there's like this sadness of that, is what I'm understanding too. But I'm not just recognizing the sadness on her end. It's like I want to recognize the sadness in which that you experienced around that. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And she says to me, she's like, that was not me. That was not me. So I know that she would have, in a regular way, been a very more quick-witted, more aware type person. And as I say that, she's like, oh, I observed everything, is what's being said to me. So I know that she certainly would have been the type to a more hyper-aware type person, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If I spoke about mom being good with numbers, not so much obviously later. There's a mention around like numbers, math, that type mention is what's coming up. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. Because I know that I want to recognize who she was versus how she leaves, is what I'm understanding too. And I know that there was very much like a supportive care for her at the end of her life, is what I'm understanding as well. And I know that she's on quite a few different pieces of equipment in the way of monitoring her. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. I just saw what looked like a plug being pulled, though I have hesitancy to say that she was on life support. Is that correct?
No life support.
Right, which is why I have that hesitancy as what's going on. But you would understand that there's quite a bit of monitors, is what I'm understanding, and even supportive care is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. When she shows me the plug, though, there is this feel as if like we have to come to this point to allow for mom to go, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand?
Um, maybe not on my part, but on the part of who was there.
Understood. Because I know that there's very much like this feeling around her not communicating at all right now. In the sense of like at this time is what I'm seeing. But I know there's very much like this feeling around like waiting for her to pass. And I don't feel that you're there for that. I know that we had said that earlier. Did you say you were there?
No, I wasn't there at the last.
Understood. But my thing is that I know that there is others that are with her, because though I don't see them, I know that she gives me this feeling around like waiting for her to pass, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Unfortunately, I do, yes.
Understood. And as I say that, she makes a mention about the lights being off. The lights being off is what's going on. I literally just heard like lights out is what's going on as well. When I got the lights out reference, all of a sudden my mind started to shift to what feels like I want to place you. And I just remembered, aren't you like in Illinois or in Missouri area?
Illinois.
Okay, understood. That would make sense. But what it doesn't make sense is I feel like I'm getting pulled more southeast is what's going on. Would you understand? So I'm not sure that the direction of my camera is the same as what you are seeing, but I'm going to turn around and give you the same view that I would have. Is my left hand showing to be on the left side of the screen for you?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's place Illinois here. I know I'm high, but I want you to see my hand. So I'm placing Illinois here. I'm getting pulled like as if I'm going right over here. And frankly, I believe that that area, I'm not great with my states and location. I believe that that area next to Illinois would be like Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee. I just feel like I'm going over. And at first, I felt like I was going to Florida, and I got this resistance. But I want to recognize outside of Illinois is what's going on. Do you understand that?
Not as far as like where she was laid to rest, but like where her family was it was like Iowa. I don't know if that's kind of.
Is Iowa more north?
It's next to.
Oh no.
It's like Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa. It's more. Yeah, I wouldn't consider that, but I'm just trying to figure out.
Here, I'm pulling up a map for you. Okay, so there's Illinois. Okay, so I feel like I'm going. I'm trying to look to see where Iowa is. Oh yeah, Iowa. Yeah, no, that's that would go northwest. No, so that you understand, what she did was I started to feel like I got pulled over to Florida. And she's like, no. And she makes me feel like I'm going west, but then needing to recognize the state right below it is what's going on, which actually Iowa is over west, and then Illinois would be southeast of Iowa, is what's going on. And so you're saying that her family is in Iowa?
Yes, but I can also actually see why she might be talking about Kansas, but
Understood. My thing is that I just feel like I need to recognize this in the way of you and a trip is what I'm saying. Do you understand? I don't know if you drive over there or what the deal is, but I feel like I need to recognize that.
I wanted to drive. I didn't actually, but I wanted to.
Understood. There is a mention of a songbird that's being brought to my attention too. Would you understand? And I know that earlier, what is that saying? Low system resources may affect your audio quality. Try closing some applications to improve performance. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what that message is about. I know that earlier there was a mention around what felt like either like a wind up music box or a wind up I don't know. They have snow globes that wind up too. But you know those things that you wind up and it plays a melody.
Mm-hmm.
There's this that mention was confusing for me, but when I hear this songbird reference, the two of them feel to come together is what's going on. Would you understand?
No.
I feel like you would. And so that you know, as I'm like trying to connect in with you, there is a I'm talking heavy sleepiness that is like you even heard me. I was like, I should have drank more coffee. Like, and girl, I've been up since like 8 o'clock this morning and have had more than enough coffee. But I feel like I'm supposed to recognize that with mom, is what I'm saying. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. Like, I don't know if she's on a lot of medication towards the end, but I feel like I need to say it like that, is what I'm saying. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And she's also going back to earlier when I had made a mention about you holding her hand. She's making a mention of like how you had to hold her hand. She wasn't able to hold yours, is what I'm saying. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. I see you like even patting or rubbing her leg is what's going on. And she makes me feel like I need to recognize like this feeling around like role reversal, like how she would have cared for you obviously at one point, but recognizing your need to have to care for her is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And she's speaking about it in a way that I want to extend validation over to you, because I understand that it gets to a point that it's far too difficult for us to care for her without other resources, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And I know that when I say that, it's like I need to let you know that she understood that and understands it. And I feel very much as though that we may have like tried our hardest to take care of mom without having to send her to a hospital or a facility, is what I'm saying. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. She literally says, like they didn't want to send me away to die, is what she says. So I feel like that would have been like a great fear, is what I'm saying. But we faced that, like we had to make that decision, is what I'm saying. Would you understand?
Yeah.
Understood. And I know that there was a great worry about her in whether or not she was being cared for well enough, or whether or not she felt like she was alone, is what I'm saying. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And I also feel like there was questions or concern about whether or not they would understand mom and her needs, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Understood. But I know that even with us having to get outside help, that we still very much kept like in contact. We still very much like kept a part of this situation, is what I'm saying. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And in this moment, I feel mom's hand like reaching up to your face. And in a way that she like goes on about how it's just been so long. It's been so long that she's been able to like hug you or display any type of real affection to you, is what's going on. Now, I don't feel like mom passed away a whole heck of a long time ago, is what's going on. And I question her when she says it's been been so long. And so I think that what she is mentioning and why she talks about it in a way of it being a longer time is because of the fact that she would have like not been able to fully communicate, fully engage with you in the ways that she normally did well before she passed, is what I'm saying. You understand that?
Yes.
Understood. If I spoke about you going and I'm outside, is what's going on, and she makes me feel like you would have visited like her place of rest, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. I don't see a tombstone. I see what feels like to be like either a flat like marker or something that's certainly lower in profile, is what I'm saying. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And have we ever brought flowers to this area?
Yes.
Understood. Just because that's what I feel like is in your I don't even see it in your hand, or if it's in your hand, I just get this feeling of it being there, like placed there, is what's going on as well. She's going back into like the throat choking situation is what's going on. I feel like this is really significant to her having passed. I feel like the breathing, the throat is very important for me to recognize. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And was this a cancer?
No.
Yeah, because that feels off. I know that in the beginning I felt that to be the case. But I question whether or not there was actually issues around like her heart, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
I understand. Yes.
Understood. Understood. Was there any questions that you had, just because we are coming up to the last 20 minutes of your session, or anybody else that you were hoping to connect with outside of mom?
There was another person I could give you the name.
Yeah, sure. Name or relation.
His name is Marvin.
Understood. Understood. And is Marvin is not that sounds like I'm going more towards grandfather, is that correct?
No.
Understood. And it's because I was talking about that father figure earlier, but I don't feel like that's the Marvin, correct?
Like I said, I can see how it would come across that way.
Understood. And if I talk about Marvin passing either in his, I'm going 60s, is what I'm saying for him. Would you understand that?
It's very close. Yes.
Understood. Is it going up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's literally going like this to me. And I know that when I see him, he is making me feel like I need to place a hat on his head, but he's also pulling his britches up, is what's going on as well. And he makes me feel like I want to talk about there being like a weight loss that would be important to him. Do you understand that?
It's possible.
Does he lose weight around his passing?
I'm not sure.
And honestly, I don't feel like he gets sick and like loses weight from that, is what I'm saying. Because he makes me feel like his passing's much quicker is what's going on. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And when I talk about the quick pass, lose weight around his passing?
I'm not sure.
And honestly, I don't feel like he gets sick and like loses weight from that, is what I'm saying. Because he makes me feel like his passing's much quicker is what's going on. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And when I talk about the quick passing, I feel like I need to recognize that to be connected to the heart, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. I gotta tell you, I feel like what he's doing is, he may be suggesting that he's lost weight, like in spirit, like more healthy is what's going on, just so you understand. But the other thing that he was bringing to my awareness is hearing, and leaves me to feel like he wasn't able to have like a conversation with you prior to passing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. And I feel like there is this sense of heartbreak for like yourself, in the sense of not having the chance to have been able to talk to him, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And I'm trying to understand the relation to Marvin, but I feel like I want to recognize, no. Are you a mother, hun?
No.
Understood. Because he makes me feel like I want to talk about he and this damn father reference. Because he's making me feel like I want to recognize there to be like a daughter that's going on. Would there be a daughter for him?
No.
Interesting. Interesting. And the relationship between the two of you, was this more in a family type way rather than friendly?
You mean?
Well, I question whether or not there's a partner in connection here, is what's going on.
That would make sense. Yes.
Understood. And I know that there's a second reference to like a vehicle that's brought to my awareness too. But I feel like I want to talk about a lot of travel for him, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Sort of.
And it would be right to recognize there to have been like an actual distance between the two of you, correct?
Yes.
Understood. And I know that when I say that, there seems to be this, I don't feel like Marvin was the most affectionate type. I feel like he wasn't necessarily a bad guy. There just seems to be like this less affectionate, almost kind of cold feeling. I don't want to say he's a cold person, but a way of recognizing like being less affectionate is what I'm understanding. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Understood. He's saying time will tell. Time will tell. And I don't know what that would mean. I almost feel like he's like making a mention to you, like in a way of like having this concern or something, and like letting you know only time will tell, like that type way. Would that make any sense to you?
In a way, I think.
That's weird. That's really weird. But one of the other things that he's mentioning of you is your anxiety, and I always like see like picking at my nails or biting my nails is what's going on. Though I don't feel like you actually bite your nails. Is that correct?
Correct.
Understood. Understood. Because he's actually making me feel like I want to like put some paint on these nails is what's going on. But he is mentioning you in the way of being more anxious is what's being said to me. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And there's a talk about a disability as well, is what's being said to me. Does that make sense to you?
Somewhat.
If I spoke about, hey, this doesn't feel right, but I need to say it. If I talk about there being a fixed income, would that make sense to you? That doesn't feel right to me.
For him, or
Maybe for him. Does it make more sense to him?
I could see how it would make sense to him.
Understood. I don't want to bend it to make it make sense to him.
Okay.
I feel like either he's on a fixed income, or he was on a fixed income, or you are on a fixed income. Do you understand?
Yes.
We sure about that?
I mean, I can. It does make sense.
Understood. And if I spoke about drinking for Marvin, would you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. I feel like I am in a home by myself, is what's going on. And I get this sense of like almost like I want to recognize like being at the home drinking by myself is what's going on. Would you understand?
Yes.
Understood. And with Marvin, would you understand if I talk about there being, I know earlier he made this less affectionate mention, but I even feel like I want to talk about someone who would have been like more on the sadder side of things, may have even experienced some depression, is what I'm understanding. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understood. But in the moment of me saying that, I feel like I need to recognize you being like this positive person in this person's life, in the sense of like loving, caring, is what I'm understanding as well. And Marvin is also buried?
Yes.
Understood. Because I feel like I need to recognize going to his cemetery, is what I'm understanding. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Understood. I'm going to say something. I know I'm wrong, but the way that Marvin is communicating is really, really difficult to understand. He was not a relationship to you in the sense of partner. Is that wrong?
Oh. I can just say that I didn't know what it was. What, you know what I mean? I didn't know what to call it, I can say.
Okay, so but you understand why I also don't know what to call it, because it was like this wasn't like your blood relation in the way of like a uncle, grandfather, like that. Is that right?
Yeah, right.
And you would understand why I feel this almost like, I don't want to say romance, but I do feel romance, and I feel friendship, and I feel love on a partner like level, is what's going on. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. Because I'm like, what the hell? And the reason why it's important for me to acknowledge it is because I feel like his sadness, his depression, his lack of willing to talk about his own emotions may have led to the distance there in the relationship for you, or the feeling of being unfulfilled, is what I'm saying. Do you understand?
Yes, exactly.
Because I know that as like he's coming through, he's acknowledging that in a way that I want to hug you, love you, validate you. But I don't feel that he was that type of affectionate kind of person. Like I feel like he would have been quick to not recognize himself to be wrong, is what I'm saying. Like I feel like he would have stood firm in his ways, and wasn't really gonna bend in to fulfill your emotions. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understood. But I know that he is well. I do know that he is well. And I know that he definitely comes through in the way to like talk about himself in a I'm like pulling up my pants. In a much healthier way. Man, your mom like took the energy right out of me, girl. Took it right out of me. So I want to give you a chance before I move on to the next session to share anything that you wish to share that came forward today in the reading.
I just had a question for Marvin. Is there did he have any intention of ever kind of making me feel like he wanted something to happen? Or
I can tell you that very much was what was being recognized in this back and forth type feel of like one moment I want to be a partner to you, one moment I want to be a friend to you, one moment I want to have distance. Like it felt very much like that was being recognized. And what I will say to you is that I know that he loved you. I know that he loves you. I know that he cares for you. But I also know that there was a lack of fulfillment that was offered by him. And I feel that he comes through to validate that in a way that takes responsibility. Was there ever an intention? I believe so. I do believe so, but I don't believe he was willing to allow for himself to get there. I think that was the hope, but I feel like there was a lot of fear and a lot of issues that were going on with him personally that prevented him from allowing himself to get to that level.
yeah, I understand that.
And I think I think that what he brought forward and the way he recognized that was the most fairest thing to do, was to validate you rather than continuing on in the way that he was here in life. You know what I mean? But I know that there feels like there was this I feel like there was a lack of closure, especially to the questioning you had, but more so to the fact that there was no real goodbye. There was no real chance for that. You know what I'm saying? And so it just felt like that door closed without any real chance for us to prepare for that. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't be able to say if he was considered a soulmate to me, or just
I will tell you that I feel that I can see where you would feel that, but I don't feel that okay, so what to answer that question on its own, I don't feel that that was the case. I feel that there was a lot of you that was wrapped into this relationship that wasn't being met. And I feel that a lot of that was done due to your own insecurities as a person, and was a lack of what was being provided in this relationship. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like there's more life for you. I feel like there's still more to be explored, more to be enjoyed, is what I'm saying. I know that when connecting with him, there felt like there was more love from your end that was being offered for him than there was being received. And to say that that person is your soulmate, I feel like that person would have had a lot of life lessons for you. But I still feel like there was a uneven balance in this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. The things you said about my mom, she was.
Hey! That ring just came up again.
Ring?
Yes. Do you have a ring from Marvin?
Okay. Well, the story with that is like a year before I had to like leave. he gave me this box that was, I swear I thought he was going to propose. And I opened it and it was a necklace. And I had another reading sometime where he said that he intended for it to be just to see my reaction.
Oh, wow.
To see that what it might have been if he actually did propose.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I don't know. That's why that I spent that whole time I knew him confused. I really did not know what the heck to call what we, so it does make sense. But my mom had a Parkinson's and dementia, and I took care of her for about 3 years by myself in the home. And then I got sick because I didn't listen to the doctors. And I kind of was forced to place her in a nursing home, but it's one that she had picked out years and years ago when her sister passed there. So I had to have a hysterectomy, and I kind of never, I just kept the last 18 months, she kind of was in there, and I just kind of didn't get to a point where I felt like I could bring her home. And she actually passed because of, she was choking on a muffin.
Oh,
and
remember I said to you, I was like, choking. What?
And it was, the whole situation kind of makes me mad just because she had a regular nurse, and that nurse was called away the morning of to attend somebody else. And so she had a new nurse in there.
And that's why she had mentioned to me about y'all's concern about whether or not she was being cared for properly, and whether or not she was alone or whatever. Wow.
Yeah, but this lady was, I don't even know if she sat her up before she fed her. And with Parkinson's, I mean, it had gone all the way kind of up to her neck at that point. She just was very stiff. And she was bedridden the last 4 years of her life.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like there was some mistakes made, and that it just, I don't even know how that woman was there. And and also they made me sign some kind of thing a few months prior when she was in there for not wanting to eat and everything. But they promised that her wishes and her will would be taken care of. And the thing is, when the day came, they looked at that paper and did not look at her wishes. And according to the paper, it said DNR. And so they kind of just watched.
Yeah.
They really couldn't do anything.
Well, I'm gonna get this recording over to you. It will probably be about 3 hours from now for you to receive it. But much of what you are talking about was actually brought forward in the reading. And I hate to cut us right at time, but I do have, because of the reschedule that took place, I have a client that's getting ready to enter into the Zoom, and I don't want her to enter into your reading, is what I'm saying. So,
Okay.
as long as you are good, I am going to let you go. But definitely, we'll continue to chat about this through email. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are so welcome, sweetheart. It was such a pleasure getting the chance to work with you today. And I look forward to any updates that you wish to share with me. Okay.
Okay. It was so nice talking to you. You're very, I love your sense of humor.
You have a wonderful, wonderful day, sweetheart.
You too. Bye-bye.